Hey guys, welcome back to the Drifter Journey channel. Today we've got a cool product review for you guys. This is the Vego Kitchen Composter. They sent it to me at no charge in order to try out, and I'm super excited because it is one of the most sophisticated kitchen composters that I've seen. We'll go over all of the specs, the price, why I think it's one of the best kitchen composters available, and how I feel like it's going to integrate into our lives seamlessly as we try to reduce waste and trash. We're going to create some compost in this video and show you how it can be used directly into our garden right after it's done. So let's get into it. Okay, first things first, why is it so special? It's just a composter, right? So the kitchen composter by Vego is really cool because first off, it's one of the only kitchen composters that's made by a company that specializes in gardening products. So if you're familiar with Vego, they make tons of other cool stuff from raised garden beds to seedling growing kits to all kinds of like watering kits and things like that. So they're very familiar with the needs of gardeners. Now that's one aspect of composting your kitchen waste, right? Gardeners want to kind of put fertilizer back into the soil of their gardens. And when you're growing a lot of food, you have a lot of compostable food waste in your kitchen, right? Where we've got veggie scraps and carrot tops and things like that, that if we're not necessarily utilizing all of it, we want to put it back into the earth, right? So Vego is a company that is specializing in gardening products, which means that they've always got the gardener in mind. It won the IF Design Award, the Red Dot Design Award in 2024. So they are keeping in mind that people want not only a functional product, but a very attractive and useful product. And for anyone who doesn't have room in their yard for a huge compost pile that you don't want to turn and monitor for the heat, and those of you who have been interested in compost know that it can be a little bit complex to get figured out. This is perfect for that, right? It's just sitting on my countertop. It runs a composting cycle in a matter of hours, and anybody can compost with a countertop kitchen composter like that. So this product is perfect for people who are interested in composting for any of those reasons. It looks great, but it also allows people to reduce their waste, reuse kitchen scraps in a way that is productive. And even if you don't have a garden to throw your compost on, you can just sprinkle it in the backyard on your grass or in your houseplant pots. And it's a really great way to just reuse that waste instead of throwing it in the trash. So let's go over some of the really cool features of the Vego Kitchen Composter. Now I mentioned some of the design elements. It's obviously a very attractive unit. It can just sit on your countertop like this. Doesn't take up a ton of space. One thing I really like is that it has a glass window on the lid, so you can actually watch the composting in progress. It does have a progress bar light on top, but it's going to be kind of cool to actually see the auger spin on the inside and see the compost being made. So another cool thing about this composter, we have a bucket which holds quite a bit of kitchen scraps. And there is a weight sensor underneath the bucket in the base of this composter, which allows the Vego composter to adjust its time cycle based on compost that's added mid-cycle. So there's a lot of kitchen composters out there that don't let you add while it's composting, but the Vego composter does. It's called Vego mode. And you can just kind of set it on Vego mode, and as you have kitchen scraps throughout the day or the week, you can open the lid, throw it in. That scale senses the weight that you're adding, and then it automatically adjusts the compost cycle time in order to appropriately break down everything that you're adding. So that's super cool. Another nice thing about the Vego Kitchen Composter is that it has a self-clean cycle. And anytime you've got kind of a buildup of kitchen scraps inside and you're maybe not going to use it for a bit and you don't want that just sitting in there, you can run the clean cycle and get that off of there. A couple different options there. The other nice thing about the composter, some people have complained about kitchen composters having kind of a funky smell. So this composter has an activated carbon filter, which I have taken out because it's one of the first things we're going to do. in order to get the composter going is put some activated charcoal in the filter. So it doesn't come with it in there, I assume because they want to try to keep it fresh. The composter comes just like this with some directions on the back, and we're just going to pop that. On the bottom, it's got a cover with arrows, and it just pops open like that. We are going to pour some activated charcoal in here and fill that up so that we can run the composter. Okay, it looks like they give you enough in that bag to fill it right to the brim. So we are going to put the little foam filter right on top there and slide the cover back into place. Okay, ready to go. We are currently neck deep in the holiday season, and I've been cooking a lot more than usual this time of year, which means I have lots of kitchen scraps, which is great timing for this kitchen composter. So I've actually been saving some from Thanksgiving cooking and whatnot in my fridge for this video. This bag has a bunch of different stuff in it. We've got carrot peels, banana peels, a couple of eggshells, green bean tops, sweet potato peels, regular potato peels, butternut squash. We've got some loose leaf tea and coffee grounds, a whole range of stuff, kitchen scraps that I wanted to compost. So let's get it set up and get the cycle started. First things first, being that this is a smart kitchen composter, there is an app, and it's very easy to add the device to the app. So I'm going to do that really quick so that I can monitor the cycle on my phone and, use its smart functions. Okay, we have got the device loaded in the app. So really cool. Initially, just upon opening it, the first thing you see is a dashboard where it's got weight of scraps and our carbon offset. So that's exciting. Let's go ahead and add our kitchen scraps to the composter and get this started. Wow, that's cool. All right, immediately in the app, it shows that we've got a red flag because it's showing there's red exclamation points because the lid is not on and it's not showing any weight in the bucket. So a couple things to note. The bucket has an arrow on it right here, and there's an arrow on the unit, and those need to be lined up. So that's first things first. Let's dump our stuff in. Now, it may feel kind of intuitive as to what it can be and cannot be composted. If you're not sure, then that's another cool thing about the app. The composter does come with a guide, so you can keep this around your house, and it's got a column for you can always add, limited amounts, and do not add. So you can keep this around, or like I said, in the app, there are a lot of resources in there to reference as you're making compost. Again, there are arrows on the lid as well. There's one right at the bottom, the unlock and locked position. So we are going to move that to line up with the locked position. All right, we're on. Let's see what's happening. It's already spinning it. Oh, but hold on just a second. Let's pause the cycle because I forgot to add a Vego tab. What is a Vego tab, you might ask? It is a compost enhancing tablet. Vego does provide a little baggie of these with the composter. It looks like this, and we're gonna add one into the compost. I need to add a little bit of water as well. And essentially what that's gonna do is help the acceleration of composting, as well as add a little bit of compost quality. One Vego tab requires 2.7 ounces or 80 milliliters of water. And it automatically goes back into the Vego mode that we started with. You can see on the app, it's got a time count up. So that's gonna let me know how long it's been in the cycle. It is already spinning again. You know that saying, it's like watching paint dry. It's supposed to be a negative thing, but it's actually kind of cool when you're watching compost get made. We are about 3 hours into our Vego mode compost cycle, and it's looking really good. So I'm gonna go ahead and open it up and show you guys the progress it's made in such a short amount of time. It pauses the cycle on its own, taking care not to touch the glass, although it doesn't feel that hot. And here's what we've got so far. So I did start with about 3.3 pounds of kitchen scraps, and I mean, I'm impressed with the amount of progress it's made in not very long. So we will close this back up, and it's just going to continue on its merry way. So we'll see how much longer it takes. Hey guys, it is a full 24 hours later. It took the entire 24-hour cycle to finish this round of compost. Now, as I mentioned earlier in the video, if I were to want to continuously add kitchen scraps to this cycle, then I could just leave it plugged in, and it would continue to readjust its time based on the amount of weight of kitchen scraps that I'm adding. However, I'd like to just see what it did in this time, so we're gonna open it up and check it out. So this is the amount of soil we get from the 3.3 pounds of kitchen scraps that I put in 24 hours ago. Pretty decent bit. Definitely smells like compost, smells like a rich soil. This is what's called Vego meal. You're supposed to add this to your soil in your garden or your potted plants on a 1-to-10 ratio. So 1 of these to 10 of this same amount regular soil. And that's just because it's very nutrient rich. It can kind of help create more biodiversity in your soil and hopefully healthy growing crops for this coming year. One thing that I did want to point out, because it was one of the first questions that I asked when it started running and started considering that this small countertop appliance is going to be running for 24 hours, is, well, how much power does it use, right? Is it really that eco-friendly if it's going to be using a ton of power? And when I could just be creating a compost pile outside in my yard? Well, it doesn't use that much power. The Vego mode uses 1.5 kilowatt hours in a 24-hour period, which is, according to Vego, equivalent to running like a crock pot. So pretty low power consumption for the fact that you get usable, biodiverse, nutrient-rich compost in 24 hours. Overall, I don't think power is really an issue, and the fact that I can't really have a compost pile right now, it's too late in the year to start it, and we do actually have a lot of critters in our area, so that's another concern for maintaining an outdoor compost pile for a lot of folks, or maybe you just don't have the space for it. So once again, if you're looking for a really sophisticated kitchen composting device with a lot of different features and options, check out the Vego Kitchen Composter. We've got some links in the description. Feel free to leave some questions and comments for me, and thanks for watching.